Hi everyone, this is Rick here in the studio. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Rick Surowicz Watercolor. Once again this year I'm publishing a series of holiday card videos for the project page of my website. This will be the fourth year that I've done this, and if you go to the project page on my website you'll find the series for each of the 4 years. And for each card on the project page you'll find a link for the image of the card that I've painted, a template you can use for a drawing, and a link to each video. And you can find the link to that project page in the description of this video. If you want to subscribe to my channel, you can click on the link in the lower right hand corner, and don't forget to like it. Alright, we're ready to get going, and you're looking at the template for this holiday card, this little lighthouse scene. And before I paint on it, I'm going to, as I do on most of these holiday cards, put some masking on it. So I'm going to use a toothbrush and dip it in a jar of masking fluid and rub some of that excess off. And then I'm just going to splatter that masking fluid. And I do both pulling the bristles back and hitting it on my hand, which gives me bigger drops than just the splatter. So just a little bit of that to create the feeling of a snowy day. And that's it. So I'll just let that air dry and then I'll start to paint. Okay, so everything is dry. The masking fluid is air dried. And now I'm ready to start painting. And I'm going to start by painting some of the bright colors that I'm going to put on this. So this is just a little scene of a lighthouse with a wreath on it, and some trees with some Christmas bulbs on it. And I'm going to take my Pyro Red, which is kind of a bright kind of red. And I'm going to paint the areas that have this bright red on it, this bow that's on the wreath. It's a little shape. And I'm going to paint the light up here. And I'm just going to touch that a little bit with a tissue just to lighten it just slightly. And then I'm going to paint the bulbs on the tree. Let's see, right here. And I'm going to take some gamboge, just a little bit. I'm going to paint kind of like a yellow light inside the window. And then I'm going to dry it because I don't want the things that I'm going to paint next to bleed into the red. So let me give this a quick dry. Alright, next I'm going to take some sap green and let's see, I'm going to paint these trees. I'm going to take a little permanent green too. I'm going to use kind of a bright green here, just kind of stylized. And I'm just going to go ahead and paint my Christmas tree. I'm going to paint around the bulbs. I'm just using a number 4 round brush. It's about as small as I usually get. Paint around it. And then just bring that wash down to the edge here. And now here, a smaller tree. It's just a flat wash that I'm using. I'm not really using a variety of colors or anything like I often, normally would do in a landscape. Just trying to make this look Christmas card-like. Add a little bit more in there. Now I've got this little tree here. And taking the same color here and painting in my wreath. There we go. So those are kind of the Christmassy colors that I'm having in this card. Now I'm going to dry that, and then I'm going to come in and I'm going to start to paint the sky. All right. So I don't need these colors that are on my palette right now anymore. We'll get rid of those. And next, I'm going to take a wash brush, this kind of a medium-sized wash brush, and I'm going to use my royal blue. And let's see, it's kind of strong. I often tone that down with just a little bit of like a raw sienna. Gives me more of the kind of blue that I want. So now I'm gonna bring this wash down. And remember, I've got that splattered masking fluid. It's going to create a snowy sky. So I'm painting this as I always do at an angle, about a 20-degree angle. I always do that when I'm painting with watercolor. I need to keep the edges wet on this and keep it moving so I don't get any hard edges. So I'm going to continue a little bit of this wash. This cardstock acts just a little bit different than the watercolor paper I normally use, but it does a good enough job. Get that edge wet there. And I'll work my way around the lighthouse. I am getting some different textures in there. Wasn't planning on, but they kind of work. They're actually where the masking fluid is. It's kind of almost building up moisture, and then it's kind of backwashing around it. But it's created an interesting sky. Bring this down. And almost there. There we go. So I've got my sky in there. And the other areas I want to paint, I need to wait. It'll backwash right into what I've painted. So I'm going to dry this. And let's see, I see a little bit here I want to get. And then I'll start doing some shading on the snow and the lighthouse. Okay, so I'm going to start with just a light middle value on this. Let's see, actually I'm going to go a little darker. Start darker here. Probably went a little wide on that. I'm going to lift off some of that. That's better. Bring this down. And this the base of that, and I'm going to fill in. I'll come back. I'm going to fill in this area here with a little bit of a lighter wash. I wanted to get with the sky wash there. Make sure that shape feels right. And let's see if I can't get that shaded in. There we go. And I'll come back. I'm going to go a little darker with the railing. And let's see, we got an area right here that I'm going to put in shadow, kind of the space between the keeper's house and the light. And put a little shadow under here. Let's see. Next, this is an 8 round brush, and let's see, get just a little darker here. Not too dark, but be able to see the ocean out here. Still trying to keep everything kind of cool and wintry. Put a very light wash here. And then I've got my snow. We'll just make some quick strokes across here. I might leave a little of that texture. Let's see, I still might put just a little right there. Okay. Keep that light. And I don't think I went quite dark enough right here. I want to go darker. A little bit of moisture in that. Let's see, let's dry that before I do anything else there. Okay, so I'm going to take just a little bit darker. I'm going to paint this railing up here. It's a little strong, probably. I'll lift it out. Anytime I make a mark and I think it's a little too strong, I just blot it sometimes with a tissue or hit it with my hand. I put just a little bit of a dark value there. Maybe a little bit underneath here. And I'm going to take, this is burnt orange, and I'm just going to paint in a frame on this window. And yeah, put a little bit here. So let me give that a dry, and then I'm going to take off the masking fluid. Okay, we're ready to take off the masking fluid. So that gives me my feeling of my snow blowing around a little bit more. And rub anything off there. Just take this masking tape off. And there we go. So we have the little white frame around it. And just a kind of a snowy lighthouse scene. So I hope you enjoyed painting that and sharing it with your friends and family.